for one, 2, 3 for one, 4 for one, 5 magnets for $1. Some space. I was like, Habibi, some space, please. Had my interaction with you been negative, Egyptians are like this.
American sees the pyramids for the first time. Take a look at his reaction.
I just saw the tip. I only saw the tip. It's really wonderful. Like my excitement now is even higher to go up close.
As soon as we approach the pyramids, you're gonna be in for a surprise. I don't know if they're gonna be there or not. Yes. Okay, look at this guy. Can you see him?
Yeah.
سيبك منه اطلع. See what happened? سيبك منه اطلع سيبك منه.
ثانيا الراجل قال لي سيبه الفندق.
سبيك انجلش؟ طلع معايا يا باشا، طلع معايا.
عشان الحاجه العسكريه.
الله يخليك يا باشا، شكرا شكرا يا حبيبي.
مش عايز براحتك.
تسلم شكرا.
تعب بكام الساعه؟
شكرا. اطلع يا باشا، دول نصابين.
What is going on?
Yeah, that's the surprise I was telling you about.
شاف النمر غريبه بقى.
It's like they try to scam you, right?
What are they trying to do?
They try to like, okay, you know, I'll take him, and then they take you for like a bullshit ride, and they just start trying to scam you. So that's like the first scam. So I just saved you. What do you have to say now? I saved your life, bro.
Well, thank you for saving my life. Appreciate it. I think there's certain things that make it, that take away from that experience. Kind of like the sellers. He doesn't understand, I guess, or maybe he does, but
Can you share the story because like they don't know what happened?
yeah, sure. So I guess what he doesn't is that it's a dream come true for a lot of people, right? And like just staring at it, it's like wow, like you have this huge, magnificent thing that we've seen. It's almost like a fairy tale. Like everyone knows Cinderella and all this. Imagine like one day you see Cinderella in front of you and Snow White, and you're like, Beauty and the Beast, you're real, like you exist, right? We see these in books since we're like in primary school, like 3rd grade, 2nd grade, and then when you're older, you're like, yeah, this becomes a place of like a majestic place to visit, and the seller takes away from that. Like yesterday, I was calling my sister. You heard, she's like, go to the KFC, you get a great view, right? So I'm right in front of it, and I want to share this experience with her, like at that moment, right? And you have the seller, and I'm trying to find a better word as to not be too like expressive, but
Let's say pushy.
very pushy, but just like he's seriously like on top of me, right? He's like, look, the magnet, and he's like on my shoulder, and I'm like, bro, I'm like, he hears me. Because he heard me speak Spanish with my sister, like as I'm on the phone with her.
Yeah.
So he tries to, hey, where are you from? And I'm like, oh, I'm from Los Angeles. And I'm like, bro, I was like, give me some space. I was like, Habibi, some space, please. And he's like, okay. And then he continues, okay, my friend, 2 for one, 2, 3 for one, 4 for one, 5 magnets for $1, 5 magnets for $1. So I'm like, Habibi, right now, okay, just give me some time. Because I'm on the phone, I'm trying to experience with my family, show them like, hey, look, this is how they look, and it's a moment. It's a big moment, right? And you're getting it taken away because this guy wants to sell you something. So the phone call ends. I tell my sister, you know what? Let me call you back when I'm in the hotel. And I click, and then he continues. So I'm like, hey, you came out at that time, right? And then I was like, all right. So I was like, how much did you say? What did you say? And then he changed his whole pricing, right? He went from 5 magnets for $1 to now like, oh, I said 2 magnets. And I'm like, all right, I don't want it. And then now he gets upset. You say. What did I say? I was like, no, bro, it's okay. Like, I don't want to say it anymore. I don't want it. I was gonna actually buy, because I was like, hey, do you have 50? Because I was gonna buy. I don't need it. I was just gonna help him out. I really don't need the magnets. And now he gets upset. Now it became into like this anger, like both of us kind of being angry, and it took away completely from seeing this majestic thing in front of us, right?
Yeah, it ruins the experience.
It ruined that, like, not the whole experience, but it ruined that moment that I had of just staring at it and being like, wow, this is majestic. So now I'm thinking about this dude arguing with. My back is now towards the pyramid, so I'm not even looking at the pyramid anymore. I'm looking at this guy I'm arguing with. And remember the taxi? And he's like literally tapping on the car. He's like, stop, and like tapping, and then the other guy went in front.
Like, this is a scam.
Yeah, and you're like, look, take out your camera, like, check this out. Like cleaning up a lot of these areas, like Alexandria, like around that area, where it makes it beautiful, right? We saw the guy just throw trash into the ocean, like that. You know, it's a beautiful Mediterranean. Like, why dirty it? Don't do that, right? Like, when you see that, it's almost like, why are you not caring about this? That kind of takes away from the experience. But you do have like the ice cream guy, he's an amazing guy, right?
A very shocking review. American. Okay. Yeah, so these were like the cons. So basically, the salesman, very pushy. This is in fact why I decided to be your tour guide. I decided like to take you on a tour because I know that if you don't know a local in the area, you're gonna go through this shit. And if you go through this shit alone, on your own, you're really gonna have a terrible experience, right? It's like this part, as long as you have a local with you, it's like it's okay, fine.
Even the taxi driver, right? Remember from your house, and he's like, cancel the Uber.
Yeah.
And then 1,400, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like, or the boat ride, and they're like, and they're doing it to you.
Yeah.
Like, imagine what they do to me.
Yeah, it's like, oh, American 2000.
It's like what I told you yesterday about the horse. Like, they can see me, they know I want to get the horse to go around. I'm not gonna go around that whole compound walking, right?
Yeah.
And they know because what? There's not enough time. And well, I'm a big guy. I'm not gonna be walking this whole time in, hot, sunny weather. So they know. So what would they say? Billy, 2,000, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, 1,500. Okay. In reality, it's like 500 or 600, whatever, And then after, they still try to push, right? And
Yeah, the thing is that they try to take advantage of you.
yeah.
But in reality, it's like, for example, if someone's being nice to you, you tend to like give them more. Like the ice cream guy is like, okay, like it was 80, you gave him like 200 because like he was sweet, like he was a nice.
He was a nice guy. He wasn't pushy. He didn't ask for like tip. He was like, what do you guys want? Like, you want this chocolate bar or whatever? And I'm like, no, it's alright. I just want the basic. And he's like being really kind with. So yeah, like you want to help out somebody like that, right? The guys from last night at the boat, right?
Yeah,
the dudes, like they're cool. You can give me a little coin.
Yeah.
Like you feel the warmth of the people, of like the real people, I guess you would say. It's been the nicest experience in all 50 countries, including my own. The nicest people at customs, in terms of that lady. That experience alone made me feel welcome. Those are some of the positive things, right? You have a lot of history here to explore, like cool experience. Alexandria, like 2,000-year-old city, right? Like, where can you say, oh yeah, this city's been here for 2,000 years? Like that, the food is amazing, from your mom's cooking to the dish.
You didn't like the kosher though.
So I see it, and my expectations is like -15, -10, -15. It's like not even that zero. I'm like, no way, man. I'm not gonna have this. I don't want to try it. And then you kind of push me to it, and you add the sauces, and I don't like garlic per se. And he's like, you gotta add a garlic sauce. He just dumps it. Like, I'm like, you just made this worse. Like now, I didn't want to try it before. Now I really don't want to try it. But as I started to eat it, actually, it was quite good. So I ended up giving a 5 out of 10. Yes.
Okay.
I know you heard about that.
Yeah, it's like my favorite dish, man. So I was like,
But you gotta consider I was -10 before.
What about the nice things?
So we've been talking about it, right? Like the way kind of media portrays people in the U.S. Yeah, Hollywood. One of the things is, just as they are portrayed over there, we feel like the same portrayal is here. So I didn't think one of the things I'd feel as welcome, but I'd have someone like starting from your like mother, where it's so kind and older traditional person you never think she'd be this sweet to an American guy, right? And like she cooked, and a mass amount of food, which we probably can go back to finish that tonight.
Yeah.
Because she cooked.
She wanted to cook something for you to leave. Like,
wow.
Take with you to the airport.
And a massive amount of food, all delicious, and I really mean that, all delicious, and it was quite a great experience. She's so welcoming to her home. Your brother also very kind, very nice. And then, you're all right. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, okay.
No, you welcome me to your home direct, even without knowing me, even like from being abroad, and you're like, yeah, I even have a place you can stay here, right? So this kind of thing, and just kind of sticking with me throughout the whole process, shows the love of the people. For in terms of you, it's like, you don't expect that from someone, right? That essentially, like one day they are a stranger, right? Because we didn't know each other. And then the next day, you guys are brothers. Like, similarities that we have, despite there's a big age difference, obviously culture difference, being from two different parts of the world, different upbringings, different, religious backgrounds, like everything different. You have these bonding moments. And so, like I said, you go from one day being a stranger to another day being a brother, like easily.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's very meaningful.
Yeah.
And that's not an expectation necessarily that I had, and I didn't really have the expectation that you'd be hanging out too much because you said, hey, I have to work this day, I have work that day. So
I
I thought,
didn't expect that I'd hang out with you, honestly.
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, just come stay in my place and do your own thing. But I was
Okay.
like, nah, I gotta like.
so I thought like, yeah, like that the whole thing, like where I felt, oh, there's some things I'll probably do on my own. Like I'll probably go to the pyramids on my own. And you were like, no, like you can't go to the pyramid by yourself. So, and I was thinking other times maybe like with dinners we'll hang out together, but like preparing. So you see the warmth that people have, and specifically you, but it's a representation of, like when you think and they say like you, sometimes you represent your whole country, and that's kind of how that is, right? Had my interaction with you been negative, my feeling probably would have been like, oh, Egyptians are like this. Nah, it's no longer Sharif is like this, right? It's Egyptians are like this.
Yeah.
10 years from now, even if you and I don't talk, right? Never talk again. The story is not going to be, oh, the salesman. That's going to be like, oh, yeah, this happened. This is a small thing. Just be careful with the salesman, right? Just ignore him. But the main story, the plot of the whole idea is like, this cool-ass dude, like he opened up the doors to his home, to his family's home. We did the firecrackers with the kids at night. Like, that was cool.
Yeah, that was good.
And it was like a very pure moment. So these kind of things that's the story, right? So you asked for Egypt, and you asked me like, what are the positives? Obviously the pyramids, right?
Yeah.
But the bigger story has been you. Like, and I completely mean that. Like Habibi. Habibi.
Give me like an Egyptian kiss.
So the story is now is like, oh, no, I've been to Egypt and the people there are awesome. Why? Because you represented that. Down the line, it's like, oh, how's Egypt? The people are amazing. Egyptians are amazing. Why? Oh, there's this guy I met, Sharif, awesome dude, went around this, did this and that, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's when you ask me about the experience and the positives, those are the biggest positives, right? The representation of the warmth, of the welcoming, of giving you a sense of peace. As an American, you come here and you think, I wonder what it's going to be like, Middle East, or
Yeah.
And you've kind of given me that sense of peace overall, where I feel I can walk and I'm like, I'll be all right. Like, no matter what's going to happen, Sharif's got my back, right? Like, we're going to be okay. So, yeah, that's the experience.
All right, man, perfect. This also gets us to like a very important point, is that this wouldn't have been possible if I wasn't able to speak English, which is basically something we're going to talk about. We need to head out to Fayoum, but lots of people answer this question like, oh, why should I learn English? It's because you get to have opportunities like this one, right? You taught me a lot about business. I wouldn't have had this experience if I wasn't able to speak English.
Yeah.
And this is why English is really important. It's like, you'd never really know when you'd need it. I'm not saying like, oh, I teach English.
Yeah.
So we'll get your opinion on that later. But for now, let's say peace to the podcast.
Peace, everybody, and we'll see you guys soon. We're heading out now.
See you guys in Fayoum. Salam.
Bye-bye. Salam.